Behold, I tell you a mystery. I'm telling you a secret. Shh. I'll tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed. Right? Because what's the next question? Well, what if I don't die? If I don't die, do I get the resurrection body? What if I'm alive when Jesus comes back? He says, well, look, not everybody's going to die. There's still going to be Christians here when Jesus comes back. But we're all going to be changed. You still get the upgrade, huh? That's a good deal. Verse 52, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, so that means it's going to be quick, right? At the last trumpet, for the trumpet will sound, I think there are 7 of those in Revelation 11, the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will all be changed. For this perishable must put on imperishable, and this mortal must put on immortality. Verse 53, immortality. That means not can die. M is a prefix, means, like the I in the front means not. Mortal means you can die. So immortality means you can't die anymore. It's a very good thing to have in a body. Right? So that's immortality. But when this perishable will have put on imperishable, and this mortal will have put on immortality, then will come about the saying that is written, death is swallowed in victory. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? Whew. That's just incredible, because there is a real sting to death, isn't there? Death stings, you know. The sting of death is sin, and the power of sin is law. But thanks be to God who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. I was thinking about Jesus as being this one who's gone through the whole thing already. He's gone through the death experience. He's come out the other side. He's alive, right? In Revelation chapter 1, around verse 18, when John first meets Jesus, he doesn't know who it is because Jesus is like totally scary looking there. And he falls on the ground like a dead guy. And Jesus says, hey, look, it's me. I was the one who was dead, and I'm alive, and have defeated death, right? I've got the keys to death and the grave with me, right? Like Jesus, he's the forerunner, he's the captain, he's the prototype, he's done it, he's conquered death. I mean, you think about it. I was listening to a series on the history of Rome. Julius Caesar was an awesome general. If you count awesome by like winning battles and doing incredibly evil things, torturing people and like, you know, annexing lands of French people and Germans and whatnot. But, you know, like he really added a lot of territory. But, you know, he was conquered. Right in the Senate, stabbed by his fellow Romans, stabbed to death. Right? And I was thinking about Augustus Caesar, you know, he conquered so much and then he died, you know. And then you have these great, you know, before him, Alexander the Great. After him, you've got Napoleon. You know, you've got these people that rise up and they conquer, right? But then they're all conquered by death. Every one of them. Everybody gets conquered by death. Our guy, our hero, our leader, he conquered death. I mean, that's got to give him something. I mean, he conquered death. Nobody conquers death. People can conquer other people by killing them, but nobody conquers death except Jesus. So Jesus conquers death. And I think that should make us different as Jesus people, as the resurrection people, as people who have a faith that this life is not all there is. And evacuating to, you know, the stars or something is not an option either. Like, we're here and we're going to stay here. You know, we might die, but when Jesus comes, he's going to bring us back to life. You know, and I think that should somehow change who we are, how we act, how we live. And so like the last verse of 1 Corinthians 15 tells us the whole reason for the chapter, the application point, if you will. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable. We had a basketball game yesterday where my cousin Craig was playing, and Mark Thomas was also playing. And so Craig's over here. If you look in the back, you just raise your hand. You know, he's not short. And Mark Thomas is 12 years old, you know. And Mark was trying to get the ball away from Craig and collided with him and looked up and said, man, you're like a wall. Be steadfast, immovable. Always abounding in the work of like, we're supposed to be like Craig versus Mark Thomas on the basketball court. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be steadfast. Because of the resurrection, you're supposed to be steadfast. Because we look at Jesus and we say, look, he did it already. And we have confidence to believe that in the future it's going to happen for us too. Because of that, we can be steadfast. We can be immovable. And always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your toil, your labor, what you do is not for nothing. It's not in vain. It's not for no purpose in the Lord, because we are the resurrection people and we are going to be raised from the dead when Jesus comes back. So I think it should look different. I think our lives should look different. I think we need to sort of let this truth sink into ourselves to the deepest part so that we really believe it even in an intense situation in life where we might be in a life-threatening situation and it's either save our own skin or do something radical and, Christ-like in that situation.